Continues to politicize. Vadra Congress tries to take credit for Vikrant milestone. Court sends rape accused seer to 4-day police custody. And despite that, curtains and special cover back-to-back VVIP treatment to seer exposed. Major terror attack in Afghanistan's Herat. Sources suggest Taliban co-founder Mullah Baradar was the target. A very good evening, friends. This 8 p.m. Friday evening. In a big push to Atmanirbhar Bharat, INS Vikrant was commissioned into the Navy today. It must be noted, ladies and gentlemen, that INS Vikrant is India's first indigenously built aircraft carrier. India has joined the select group of countries who have this capability to build an aircraft carrier from scratch. But while the nation celebrates, the opposition tries to politicize. While the Vadra Congress tried to take the credit for success, AIMIM chief raised the China border issue. But the question is, can political parties rise above petty politics and come together to celebrate a proud and historic moment of our country? We debate after this short report.
As India stood at the cusp of history, with Prime Minister Modi inducting India's first indigenous aircraft carrier Vikrant into the Indian Navy,
विक्रांत केवल एक युद्धपोत नहीं है, ये 21वीं सदी के भारत के परिश्रम, प्रतिभा, प्रभाव और प्रतिबद्धता का प्रमाण है.
The opposition went in an overdrive to politicize the event instead of standing by our Navy.
पहले वाजपेयी जी की सरकार, बाद में मनमोहन जी की सरकार, बाद में मोदी सरकार, शासन में निरंतरता होता और 22 साल लगे हैं. और प्रशंसा हम करते हैं इंडियन नेवी के इंजीनियर अफसर जो काम किए हैं, पर ये कहना कि ये सिर्फ 2014 के बाद की उपलब्धि है, ये बिल्कुल गलत है.
प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी की सरकार हमको तीसरा एयरक्राफ्ट कैरियर चाहिए, उसकी इजाजत क्यों नहीं दे रहे हैं? उसी नेवी में हमको 200 शिप की जरूरत है, हमारे पास सिर्फ 130 है, क्यों नहीं दे रहे इसका परमिशन? इसलिए नहीं दे रहे प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी क्योंकि उन्होंने भारत की इकोनॉमी को अपने गलत पॉलिसियों की वजह से बर्बाद कर दिया. उनके पास पैसे नहीं है.
Whether it's the commissioning of INS Vikrant, induction of Rafale jets, the National War Memorial, the national emblem or the Agnipath scheme, the opposition has always politicized the national pride. The burning question is, why politicize India's national pride, the INS Vikrant? Can opposition rise above petty politics? Bureau Report, Republic TV.
Well, the burning question is, why politicize INS Vikrant? In fact, I'm surprised at the jitters that the opposition really showed. Who is taking away the credit from all the parties that have been in power in the country and have in any manner contributed to India's defense and security? Let's discuss that. My panelists today in the evening: Anila Singh, spokesperson of the BJP, joining live from Delhi. Major General G.D. Bakshi, defense expert, of course. He's always on our panels when it comes to defense and security and gives his fantastic analysis and deep understanding on the issue. Pathikrit Pine, political analyst, live from Delhi. All three would be in some ways defending the government. The other side, Lokesh Jindal, leader Congress party, live from Nagpur. Lieutenant Commander Gokul Chandran, political analyst, leans towards the Congress party, live from Kanyakumari. And Tanvi Pruthi, lawyer, leans towards the Congress, political analyst, live from Delhi. Let me begin by asking Lokesh Jindal, representing the Congress party, was the merit in the argument? Jairam Ramesh tweeted that, okay, we also contributed. Agreed? 100% agreed, Congress contributed. Then Jairam says, all governments since 1999, which by the way includes 5 years of the Atal Bihari Vajpayee government, absolutely. Why these jitters, Mr. Jindal? Why should the Congress party be wanting to take credit for something which is understood. Obviously, the Congress party has contributed to India's defense and security whenever it is in power. No one can forget 1971, and Atal Bihari Vajpayee himself called Indira Gandhi Ma Durga or equated her to Ma Durga. Why these jitters?
The problem that we have is with the megalomaniac, narcissist personality of the present incumbent Prime Minister. Whenever we talk about India attaining glory, in fact, it's a proud moment to all of us, to all
Megalomania?
Indians. Yes, certainly. So when we are talking about such a moment, it's a proud moment to all of us. The due credit should go to the army, to the scientists.
No, first clarify. What was megalomania
fraternity.
in today's speech by the Prime Minister? Please clarify.
The tendency of the Prime Minister to take all the credit for everything that is happening in the country, everything good happened because of the present Prime Minister's tenure, because of the present Prime Minister's leadership. He forgets to mention that it was in 1957 that DRDO was founded by Nehru. He forgets to mention that it was Nehru who formed the Atomic Energy Commission in 1948. He forgets to mention that it was Nehru who laid down the foundation for the first INS Vikrant. He forgets to mention that it was the Nehru who laid down the science and technology policy that laid down IITs, IIMs, who laid down all the basis on which India moved towards progress. All it wants to do is bring the charge of Julebazi, and
the Prime Minister did not recognize the earlier contributions.
That suits their political narrative. The point is such a form of a personality.
My Ram to everyone, and I think
you made a point. Let Anila Singh respond to that. Prime Minister did not recognize the contributions of earlier government. That's the charge.
Congratulate each and every person who was involved in designing and making and launching of this great air carrier warship. This is a great day, and we all are cherishing. But Indian National Confused Party is still not able to cherish this moment because they are not able to distinguish that when to attack Bharatiya Janata Party and when to feel proud about your own country. This is a basic difference in between Bharatiya Janata Party and Indian National Confused Party. You people keep so low. You can call Mr. Modi megalomaniac, you can give him any sort of names. Do you think it is going to affect him? He is one Prime Minister who has dedicated his life
do not get
for
affected by such
the progress of this country. You know it very well, Mr. Jindal, that during your times, you launched the project.
Let's have a structure argument. I am still not understanding. Anila Singh, hold on. Anila Singh, hold on. Lokesh Jindal says that the Prime Minister is megalomaniac, that the Prime Minister did not acknowledge the contributions of earlier governments. You know, the speech has to be occasion specific. It was about the commissioning of INS Vikrant. Prime Minister, in the most flowery language, and in fact, it was impressive, the manner in which he really glorified Vikrant. He was speaking only on that. He quoted Ramdhari Singh Dinkar. He quoted APJ Abdul Kalam. And it was in the context of India's defense readiness. It was in the context of INS Vikrant. Tanvi Prathi, please tell me, this charge of Lokesh Jindal that Prime Minister is full of himself, I never saw anything of that sort in the speech of Prime Minister. Tanvi, if you are getting me, hello? I was asking this Lokesh Jindal charge that the Prime Minister is full of himself. Nobody except for him perhaps saw that in the speech that Prime Minister made, the address that Prime Minister made while commissioning INS Vikrant today.
So, am I audible?
Yes, you are audible. Go ahead.
Yes, so you have to relate to what Mr. Prime Minister Modi said with the actions of their foot soldiers on social media. INS Vikrant is being hailed as India's Atmanirbharta, and that is true, and it should be. And the entire credit goes to the subsequent governments who have taken those decisions. Can this credit be attributed just to one person or one political party who's trying to take the entire credit on social media? You open the Twitter accounts of BJP social media handles
Absolutely
today
not.
of their spokesperson of everybody. Please show me one tweet recognizing the contribution of other governments also. Please mention one.
I will show you.
Point number one.
I will show you. Hold on. I will show you. But then let me have opening comments also from others.
Please,
GD Bakshi, sir. Lokesh Jindal, and hence the Congress party, today in the debate is making a charge that the Prime Minister did not acknowledge earlier contributions. your opening comments, sir. I thought the Prime Minister made a very responsible and a very measured speech, even sending across a message to the Chinese that India now has stakes in the Indo-Pacific. Are we missing the larger strategic importance and the message that comes out of today's development in this petty politicking that has started with the tweet from Jairam Ramesh?
Look, I keep saying that in a mature democracy, there is a bipartisan consensus on issues of national security. This is an issue of national security, and I thought the Prime Minister made a very nice speech saying exactly what needs to be said on such an occasion. This is an occasion to extol India's drive for self-reliance, India's drive for autarky in major weapon systems, India's drive for becoming a major superpower, and building your own aircraft carrier puts you in a very select league of some 7 nations. All right, there are just about 7 countries in the whole damn world who can build an aircraft carrier from a scratch. We've done it all by ourselves. It is the largest ship in the naval fleets of the world. It is 37,500 ton ship. It is one of the largest ships that we find in all navies. We now have 2 carriers, which means that we can take care of both our eastern and western seaboards. We need a 3rd carrier. We should have been talking on those issues. Now to suddenly go into hunting for brownie points, hunting for you didn't praise me or you didn't talk of Krishna Menon. I mean, I'm very sorry. But if you really want to say the decade of the UPA just before 2014 was an absolutely lost decade as far as defense acquisitions were concerned. We had suffered in 1990, our economy had come close to collapse. 1991, Soviet Union collapsed. Our subsidized weapon systems source dried up and we were in a panic. At that time, the government of Narasimha Rao had plainly told the armed forces, look, we'll first have to get our GDP up before we can give you larger defense budgets. And we were so desperate that General Malik had then said, okay, we will suppress manpower, please transfer some revenue from, revenue budgets to capital. That was the state of desperation. Today, do you know that your Air Force is down by, it is supposed to be 45 squadrons, it is 30. You have lost great time, valuable time, which could cost you dear in the future.
Yes.
We are trying to catch up now, and you must give this government the credit that is due, because they have speeded up defense induction.
Absolutely.
Because they have gone outright for autarky and for self-reliance, and not the self-reliance of semi-knocked down kids, completely knocked down kids, which was an optical illusion. It wasted so much time.
Sir,
now we are... This ship has been designed by the Naval Design Bureau. And that is why it is worthy of
General Bakshi, in fact,
praise. It deserves that praise. So let's not be churlish.
I'm willing to give credit to the Congress party where it's due whenever they have contributed to India's defense preparedness, irrespective of the scandals, irrespective of the corruption charges off and on that have been investigated. And of course, the delay aspect as well. But Commander Gokul Chandran, you have been in the Navy. You should be happy that this development has happened. Every Indian should be happy, including all the politicians, including the Congress party, including the AIMIM, on this day to raise the issue that, okay, fine, we also contributed and the Prime Minister should not be megalomaniac, Prime Minister should not. Prime Minister did not speak about himself at all. In fact, there was not a single line in the entire address, Commander Chandran, which could indicate towards Prime Minister cornering all the credit.
Yeah, good evening.
See, I'm proud, the whole nation is proud about what we have achieved today. No doubts about that. My problem with Prime Minister
Gulami culture which existed in armed forces before, and now we have attained freedom. So, is Prime Minister calling the veteran the the people who have served in Indian Navy, Indian Army and Indian Force are slaves whom
he is referring to as slaves. So isn't it an insult to the entire people who have served this nation donning the uniform? And he talked about Atmanirbhar. See, what Jairam Ramesh tweeted, what flared up, Mr. Jairam Ramesh just said, see, this Atmanirbhar brand.
What's wrong in removing the slave mindset? What's wrong in removing the slave mindset? Is it not there? I would want both Anila Singh and General Bakshi to come on that.
No. You are talking that the Indian armed forces had a slave mindset.
You raised the argument, now let it be responded to. You raised an argument, let it be responded to. Pathikrit Fine, Prime Minister, apart from commissioning the aircraft carrier, also released or unveiled a new ensign of the Indian Navy which does away with St. George's Cross. Should there be any objection to that? Commander Chandran is raising an objection to that. Pathikrit Fine. Anil Singh, I'll come to you. Pathikrit Fine has not spoken.
See, I don't know why they are opposing that. I'm a little surprised that they are opposing that ensign has been changed. This was changed for the first time during BJP rule from 1999 to 2004, and then they brought it back all over again into that George Cross. I don't know why they would do it, so that is the slavish mentality Prime Minister Modi was talking about. Now let me tell you one thing, Abhishek. The bigger point is this. Please, Mr. Chandran, I did not interrupt. I said silently. You have to please show the cutscene.
You run away with lies.
Let me tell you one thing.
I will not let you run away with
Abhishek,
lies. You are
I cannot speak if these trolls keep on interrupting in between.
Because you are lying.
Commander Chandran, hold on. Let him complete. I'll come to you. Commander Chandran,
why
hold
should
on.
we
I'll
have
come to you. Let him complete. Let him make his point. You have made your point.
If Congress wants to take credit, it should also take the credit for 10 years of neglect. In February 2014, when Anthony was asked that about the multi-role fighter aircraft Rafale, he said, where is the money? There is no money to buy it. From 2015 onwards, let me tell you, up till 2014, there was a 97% obsolescence in air defense systems. No bulletproof jackets was procured, obsolete INSAS, no howitzer procured, no fighter plane acquired. Tell me one major offensive weapon system UPA acquired between 2004 to 2014, except for the Scorpion submarines, which have not yet been commissioned in totality. Now, let me tell you what has happened from 2014 onwards. Number one, India created an industrial ecosystem where there is Make in India projects happening. You ask any major industrial company of India today, engineering houses who are contributing to this. You ask any drone maker of India, hundreds of drones have been ordered, made by Indians in India. Number two, look at the fighter plane 36 Rafale, that's everyone knows. The LCA program was literally dead by 2014. 83 Mark 1A LCA order was given by Prime Minister Modi. When you talk about M777 howitzers, when you talk about Chinook helicopters, Apache helicopters, when you talk about MH-60 helicopters, when you talk about LR-SAM, MR-SAM, when you talk about S-400, these things were not there. And the Prime Minister of this country made sure that those things come. There is a company called MKU of Kanpur. There is a company called SMPP. Abhishek, do you know there are 90 law enforcement agencies across the world who are taking, these bulletproof jackets from India, but Indian armed forces were not being given those bulletproof jackets by government of India during UPA time. And there were these lobbies. There were those lobbies who were vested interests, who were destroying and making sure that the projects don't happen. Now, let me tell you what happened yesterday. The Cabinet Committee of Security gave, approval for 8,000 crore more to develop an AMC at, the Tejas Mark II, which will be an equivalent of Rafale. So these things are happening in this country. In 2014, the government of India under Prime Minister Modi, first of all, gave approval for a missile tracking ship, the one wing which came to India. The anti-sat satellite, UPS sat on it. They didn't have the guts to get it launched and test. So what are they talking about? What, they want to take credit? Yes, take credit for the neglect that you did for 10 years.
We are just going ahead of the debate. we are going just ahead of the argument. I'll come to that. Post 2014, whatever has happened, valid argument. But before that, this charge that has been made by Jairam Ramesh being pushed by Lokesh Jindal now, that the Prime Minister was trying to hog all the limelight, take all the credit. I did not see it in any part of the speech made today. But more importantly, there is another speech where Prime Minister Narendra Modi, before he began the nitty-gritty of his governance back in 2014, speaking from the Red Fort, in his first address from the ramparts of the Red Fort, mentioned and credited every Prime Minister of India since independence for bringing the nation to where it stood on that day. Let's listen into the Prime Minister and then come back to Lokesh Jindal to understand what megalomania is talking about. Let's listen into the Prime Minister, 2014, August 15th.
भाइयों बहनों, आजादी के बाद देश आज जहां पहुंचा है उसमें इस देश के सभी प्रधानमंत्रियों का योगदान है, इस देश की सभी सरकारों का योगदान है, इस देश के सभी राज्यों की सरकारों का भी योगदान है। मैं वर्तमान भारत की उस ऊंचाई पर ले जाने का प्रयास करने वाले सभी पूर्व सरकारों को, सभी पूर्व प्रधानमंत्रियों को, उनके सभी कामों को जिसने कारण राष्ट्र का गौरव बढ़ा है, उन सब के प्रति इस पल आदर का भाव व्यक्त करना चाहता हूं। मैं आभार की अभिव्यक्ति करना चाहता हूं।
All right, now who would answer that from those who are defending the Congress party? Lokesh Jindal, all Prime Ministers given credit. I don't see any megalomania. Commander Chandran, Prime Minister, is absolutely humble enough to acknowledge from the ramparts of the Red Fort which other Prime Minister has done that. That wherever India stands today, it is because of the contribution of all Prime Ministers and all the leaders who have come before him. And still Lokesh is able to see Prime Minister trying to take all credit. Jairam Ramesh is jittery that on this big day when India as a nation has made such a big stride towards self-reliance in defense, he raises his hand and says that their contribution should be acknowledged. Lokesh Jindal, now tell me.
Allow me to answer. There was a big monologue that our co-panelist said. Now let me reply to certain of his queries. It was in 1963 that the defense expenditure was increased during the time period of Nehru, and it went on to increase, and it was reduced only in 2017 by the present Prime Minister. And after 1965, when it was Lal Bahadur Shastri, the congressman, he raised the slogan Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan. We saw modernization of armed forces taking place, which was taken to another platform during the time period of Indira Gandhi. It was in 1980s that the armed forces continued to be modernized, and in 1990s, when G.D. Bakshi Saab said that P.V. Narasimha Rao, because of certain GDP issues, refused to modernize the armed forces, he is wrong. Because it was in 1992, he had already made all the plans so as to have a nuclear weapon for India. But it was postponed because India did not want to keep itself at a distance with that of US. But immediately in 1996 and even also in 1998, P.V. Narasimha Rao, even in 1996 when Atal Bihari Vajpayee became the Prime Minister, P.V. Narasimha Rao asked him that the first thing to do is to get a nuclear weapon. And which he did in 1999.
Okay,
and
Lokesh, you
whether
have
we are
fallen
talking
into a
about
trap.
the LCA Tejas, whether you are talking about helicopter,
you
whether
have
you are talking
cornered
about Indira
yourself.
Gandhi integrated missile mission,
You have
whether you are
painted
talking
yourself
about
into a
all
corner,
forms of
Lokesh.
missiles, whether you are talking about torpedoes, all forms of
On 2 points, you
weapons
have
and all,
cornered
they have
yourself
been
into a
the
corner,
work of
Lokesh.
The
Okay, I'm
point
not.
is, this present Prime Minister
Before I
has
go to other
acknowledge
panelists, let me counter you.
insincerity.
Was it, Lokesh, it is recorded history. Since you mentioned that, it is recorded history that while Narasimha Rao wanted to carry out nuclear tests, he couldn't because someone leaked the information to the United States and the consequent pressure stopped us from doing it. At the same time, see the camaraderie. See the camaraderie.
Conducted the Iraq
Hold on. Lokesh, you made a point.
Can I come
Give me the opportunity to rebut you, Baba. Give me the opportunity to rebut you. We are having a reasoned debate. Since you made a point, I am just rebutting before I go to other panelists. You have made your point. Anila Singh, hold on. Anila Singh, hold on. You see, Narasimha Rao couldn't carry out the test he wanted to because of a leak. Whatever happened, we're not going into it. But see the camaraderie. The first thing he does after Vajpayee becomes Prime Minister, he tells him, briefs him about the preparation, and in fact advises Vajpayee that at the first available opportunity, the Vajpayee government should go ahead and carry out those tests. They couldn't do it in the 13 days of government, but they did it in the 13-month government. Now the point is, Judge G.D. Bakshi, Jindal is making a point that under Nehru and Indira Gandhi, the defense expenditure continued to increase, but in percentage terms, the defense expenditure has come down. Is it true? Are we not looking at a period in the last 8 years when we have bought the Apaches, we have bought the Chinooks, we have bought the K9 Vajras, we have S-400 orders happening and that those would be coming in. We got the Rafales. And without corruption, except for whatever politicization that happens with defense deals. General Bakshi.
Look, that is exactly what I'm saying. The decade from 2000 to 2010 was almost a lost decade as far as acquisition of arms is concerned. Because we could not get replacements, the MiG-21 is still flying today. We needed an air force of 45 squadrons. Today we are down to 30, sir. 30! And you are saying that, we were trying to get Rafale manufactured in India. The last notings of Antony had made it impossible to acquire the Rafale. And because we were falling short of squadrons, this government had no option but to cancel that whole drill and restart and at least get you 36. Hopefully we'll get more. We are getting, hopefully, I think some for the Navy. But the fact of the matter is that we lost a decade. I think that is really, really worrisome. It may cost us in the future. When I was...
what is Indira Gandhi Integrated Guiding Missile?
1999, 2000, we were trying to... Can I just finish? What I was saying was that when we were in the Military Operation Directorate, we were trying to mediumize the artillery. That means standardize it around the 155mm howitzer caliber. Then the Bofors scandal, because of the Bofors scandal, not one gun was purchased till recently when this government came. Do you know the damage it has done? The Ukraine war tells you today that the war winning factor is artillery, especially of the medium and heavy caliber. 155. It's only now that Kalyani Forge are producing the ATAGs. We have made the Dhanush, we made the Vajra, and we've got the M777. But we've got a serious lacunas opened up. When your GDP rises, the percentage of the GDP will go down. But I agree that we need to increase now because the situation around us is getting extremely dangerous. Extremely dangerous. We need to do even more than is being done today. That is
now allow me to answer.
Discussing not who is to get credit, who is not to get credit, who is to
allow
get
me to answer.
who is to get brickbats, etc. I think there should be a bipartisan consensus on issues of national security.
Sir, when I'm talking about...
I think there is bipartisan consensus, and that is why this classic example of Narasimha Rao passing on the nuclear button to Atal Bihari Vajpayee with adequate messages. Lokesh, you can't monopolize this debate. Anila Singh also has to respond to the Congress argument from the BJP's perspective that the defense budget has gone down in percentage terms. Anila Singh, your defense before I open up the debate.
1 point to make.
No, I'll come to you. I'll come to you.
I want to reply to
Anila Singh on defense budget percentage. I'll come to you, Lokesh. Anila Singh on defense budget percentage.
All right, to start with, we very well know. All right. First of all, we very well know that Mr. Nehru had X the defense budget and we had to face the consequences in wars with China as well as with Pakistan. And then everything was started, it was remodeled again. And if you talk about the budget, Mr. Jindal, you must be knowing your very own Prime Minister, Mr. Rajiv Gandhi, had mentioned कि 1 रुपया भेजो तो 15 पैसे पहुंचता है. So budget maybe large during your time, but the thing is, it never saw its stayed. We couldn't see the indigenous assets of our defense system being made here in our own country, or they being bought from other countries as well, because
Madam,
so much of
so
commission
ignorant
system
and
was
so
there
mistaken.
that even the rates
Because
were not
if you talk about
finalized. So whenever we
integrated-
talk
Hold on,
about
let her complete. I'll come to you, Lokesh.
like you
You are
talk
next.
to anybody about Congress, about defense assets, before Ghotala, Chopper Ghotala, Tetra Truck Ghotala. So whenever we talk about Congress, all the Ghotalas in defense system, they crop up. But when we talk about Bharatiya Janata Party or the NDA government, we have always strengthened the defense system of our country, and we are proud about it. And even in today's date, different defense corridors, they are being constructed. There is lots of pressure and encouragement as well for indigenous products of our country and Atmanirbhar Bharat. So today is a day to cherish. But instead of that, Congress party, which is an Indian national confused party, they are attacking our Prime Minister. They are forgetting that you are not attacking our Prime Minister, you are attacking all those
Lokesh, Anila Singh, you made a point. Lokesh, let's extend it beyond attacking the Prime Minister. The fact of the matter is that the UPA years were indeed lost years insofar as defense modernization is concerned, acknowledged by none other than the then defense minister himself, when he said at a defense event that there is no money. In fact, when Prime Minister said that had Rafales been with India, the Balakot after effect of the Pakistanis coming in would not have happened. They would not have dared do that. And it is confirmed and seconded by most Air Force officers I have spoken to. Lokesh, the fact of the matter is that the Congress party deterred on defense modernization in the most crucial period of 2004 to 14.
It was during the time period of the UPA that all these forms of missiles were inducted and they were introduced. How can you forget this? On what basis do you say that during the time period of UPA, the defense
So first talk about MMRCA.
No,
I'll come to missile. I think Prime Minister acknowledged the missile man. Prime Minister acknowledged the true missile man of India. He saw your argument coming in the morning. And that's why perhaps acknowledge the contribution of APJ Abdul Kalam in that very important address. But answer my question. You are digressing and diverting. My question is, did we not pay a price for the Congress party's delay on MMRCA, the aircraft that we really needed?
Indigenously.
Abhishek,
So do
can I
not try
come
to
in?
revise history
Abhishek.
as per your convenience.
Abhishek, can I come in?
Pathakrit respond. He is not willing
Abhishek,
to
they are
answer on the
talking about-
MMRCA.
MMRCA, let me tell you, in early 2011, one of my articles got published in France. In 2011, early 2011, on technical grounds, Eurofighter and Rafale were shortlisted. From 2011, early 2011 to 2014, before the UPA was, actually left the government, they lost. In 3 years, they could not do the price negotiation and decide on which one to take. And they are talking about indigenization. Let me tell you. Lokesh, please let me finish, then you can talk about. Lokesh,
these issues.
let me tell you, they're talking about indigenization. The fast interceptor board of Sagar Prahari Bal, the fast interceptor board, even speedboats were imported. There is a company called Solus Marine. Even speedboats during UPA era were imported. Forget about everything else. Tell me which bulletproof jacket, which assault rifle, which howitzer, which missile system did you actually acquire and made in India during from 2014 to 2004 to 2014? Only thing you did was Augusta Westland VVIP choppers. Nothing else.
What about the...
Nothing else.
Sir,
You did
sir, what have
not
you
matter
done?
to your
What have you
government
done
that
since
we needed
2000?
What about?
You were
What have you
actually
done?
doing
Lokesh Jindal, so
utopian
much of what
calculations
about coming from you? It's called what about
on which you could have never made Rafale in India. You had Tell me, why were you
Lokesh.
importing
Lokesh, let's...
except for
Patikrit, hold on.
Why were you importing
Patikrit, hold on.
during UPI era?
कौन सा डिफेंस
Patikrit, hold on.
बना दिया? मेक इन इंडिया तो फेलियर था, स्किल डेवलपमेंट प्रोग्राम फेलियर
You
था.
had, you don't want to talk what happened between 2004 and
Lokesh,
2014.
Patikrit, hold on. Patikrit, hold on. Patikrit, hold on. Patikrit, hold on. Lokesh.
गाइडेड मिसाइल्स होती थी.
Patikrit, hold on.
हिम्मत नहीं हुई.
Patikrit, hold on. Lokesh, listen to me.
हिम्मत नहीं हुई कोई precise test
Listen to me. Lokesh, did you just mock?
बात करते हो.
Patikrit, hold on. Patikrit, hold on. Patikrit, hold on. Lokesh, did you just mock Make in India? Are you suggesting that while Congress party should take credit? Hold on.
He doesn't know.
Should Congress party be taking credit for INS Vikrant at the same time mocking Make in India?
Where are the
He
jobs?
is a confused person.
Where are the jobs? Where are the 15 lakh rupees? Where are the jobs? Where are those?
Okay, let's flip the argument. I am getting another sound bite. Let's flip the argument. Let's flip the argument. The Congress charge was that the Prime Minister did. Hold on. Everyone hold on. Everyone hold on. Patikrit, hold on.
तुम्हारे टाइम पे दलालों को
Congress charges the Prime Minister did not share credit. Let's flip the argument and play the soundbite of AK Antony, incidentally tweeted by Jairam Ramesh himself. Then come back. Let's listen it. Just listen it.
Today is a momentous day for the Indian Navy, shipyard, shipping ministry, Ministry of Defence, in fact to the whole country. Launching an indigenously made aircraft carrier is not a small thing. As mentioned earlier, so far only 5 countries was able to made it through. India is now becoming the 6th country. Today morning I got a call from my DRDO scientists. They have successfully today launched Prithvi 2 again. That also is another achievement. 3 days ago, we have achieved criticality in the first Indian-made nuclear submarine. So many areas we are achieving.
All right, this is a 2013 video at the time of launch of INS Vikrant. Remember, it was called IAC-1 till yesterday. AK Antony taking credit, making an address. Where is the mention of other governments? The journey of IAC-1 in fact started in 1999 as recalled by Jairam Ramesh himself. But when the speech is being made by AK Antony, that credit sharing is not there. What's the problem? It's a speech for the occasion. Exactly what the Prime Minister has done today. Commander Chandran now rebut this charge of... Okay, fine. I think Commander Chandran is not connected. Lokesh, you have to answer this.
Yes.
Where is the credit sharing for the same
when we are
INS
talking about
Vikrant? Where is the credit sharing? Where is the credit sharing?
When we are talking about any accomplishment, it belongs to the nation. The contribution has to be acknowledged of every single taxpayer, the scientist, army man, everyone, whether he's from the economic, political or social sphere. But where we have this particular form of acknowledgement? Nowhere. We should have the army veterans brought to the forefront. We should have acknowledgement given to the scientists.
Where is the acknowledgement in AK Antony's speech? That is the question, Lokesh.
Administration that is there inside this entire program. But look at the Prime Minister. All he wants is the projection of he himself as the maker of the new India. And all he wants
Again,
to
Lokesh,
say that whatever good is
like a
happening
tape
to
recorder,
India,
you know,
it has been
the world has stopped
2014.
producing tape recorders. You are a relic from that era when tape recorders still existed. You know, rewind. You are not answering. You are not answering. You are not answering that AK Antony did not share credit. How would you answer that? Anila Singh. Lokesh can't answer that. Maybe Anila can take that. It's a BJP question.
Lokesh cannot answer that.
So if
he is expecting that our Prime Minister should praise the corrupt system. Dalalon ki sarkar. पावर कॉरिडोर्स में दलाल घुमा करते थे, कोई भी प्रोडक्ट की कंप्लीट नहीं कर पाते थे जब तक दलाली फाइनलाइज ना हो जाए. This was the system which was running during UPA सरकार. So do you expect that our great Prime Minister is going to praise for that?
जीडीपी बढ़ रही
जो
है, लेकिन
जो ड्यू होता है साहब वो बिल्कुल प्रेज के लायक होता है, पर आपकी कंफ्यूज पार्टी, because you even didn't know that Narasimha Rao was not allowed by a great party or great people who runs your party, they didn't allow that our country should become a nuclear power.
Do you even know
आज भारत जो है आत्मनिर्भर हो रहा है, आत्मनिर्भर हो रहा है. That is the greatest thing which is happening to our country, and we are becoming proud producers of many things, and defense assets are increasing under Atmanirbhar Bharat. That is an achievement, and that is an achievement because of Mr. Narendra Modi. Let me say it in very clear words. आप लोगों को केवल और केवल घोटाला करना आता था. Our country is getting stronger day by day. Our country is getting stronger day by day in our defense assets as well. So you are not feeling proud of it. China की गोद में बैठने वाले लोग जो हैं, they cannot understand this thing. By launching this great air carrier warship, we are really going to be very strong. We are going to be very strong, but you are not very happy about it. It shows that you are not happy about it. The thing is, Mr. Jindal, the thing is, your leader,
okay, Lokesh, you had your say.
You are the people
Anila Singh,
who believe in democracy. So that is the truth. Bharatiya Janata Party eats, breathes,
Madam, you know, you don't know anything. With all due respect to you, please get your facts correct.
Okay, Lokesh, you know everything. Now hold on. I am bringing you some lessons of history on Congress Party's role in India's defense preparedness. You know, of course, all credit to Congress Party and Pandit Nehru for the IITs, for the IIMs, for the Cochin shipyard, for the Bhakra Nangal Dam. No denying that. I am saying
Atomic Energy Commission,
let credit be given where it is due. I am not denying. Hold on. I am giving you credit. Hold on. You should enjoy this. Lokesh, you should enjoy this. John G.D. Bakshi is with us. He is a man of understanding when it comes to military history.
Gujarat riots, what about communal carnage?
Hold on.
What about communal
corruption? Second name of international
Lokesh, stick to defense and security.
You rotted the
Lokesh, stick to defense and security.
Lokesh, stick to defense and security. Developed countries in the world, but because of your political party, our country.
Hold on. Anila Singh, hold on.
The reality is this: corruption in Congress Party. There are synonyms.
Where India has
absolutely.
That is why this country is rejecting you.
Anila Singh, hold on.
Internationally.
This country is rejecting you, sir.
So at least get some form of at least have minimal courtesy to acknowledge what
Anila Singh,
the entire country.
Anila Singh, let me come in here and bring another aspect of this debate.
Of course not.
Anila Singh, hold on. Lokesh, I said all credit to Pandit Nehruji and to the Congress Party for the IITs, IIMs, Bhakra Nangal Dam, Cochin shipyard, everything. Every contribution that the Congress Party has made for the 1971 war, of course, to Indira Gandhi. You know, Jairam Ramesh's tweet also, I don't know whether it was inadvertent, mentioned V.K. Krishna Menon. I mean, are we opening a Pandora's box when it comes to V.K. Krishna Menon from Kashmir to the Mundra Jeep scandal? We are not. But General Bakshi is with us. Sir, I mean, you are a man of military history. And Lokesh wants to understand Congress Party's role. The Bangaram Island, Lakshadweep, 1987, a vacation, and the pictures are there on all over the media, social media. Rajiv Gandhi, in-laws, foreigners, all breach of protocol. Sir, what kind of defense preparedness was that?
Look, let me give you a seminal insight. When Jawaharlal Nehru became Prime Minister in 1947, you know, General Sir Bob Lockhart, the first British Chief of the Indian Army post-independence, walked up to him with his file on modernization and expansion of the Indian Army. Don't forget, the Indian Army in World War II was 2.5 million, 25 lakhs. it was reduced to 3.5 lakhs, split between India and Pakistan. He wanted to expand the army. Do you know what Nehru told him then? General, we don't need an army. We just need the police. We are such a peaceful country that no country in the world can dare attack India. Famous last words. You know, when Bob Lockhart walked out of Nehru's office, he had a look of shock on his face, as if, you know, his aide asked him, "Sir, have you seen a ghost?" He said, "Almost." This is what the Prime Minister has told me.
Sir,
he doesn't
sir,
need
please
an
tell
army.
me what was the GDP of
You know,
India on the eve of
unfortunately,
independence?
that pacific mindset.
What was the GDP of India on the eve of
Panchsheel
independence?
mindset,
Okay,
independence. Okay, let me
What was
answer
the
you.
life expectancy of a
Can I
common
answer
Indian?
you on
It was
facts?
32
Can I
years.
please, sir? Can I? Can I
Sir, हमें
please
क्या करना
answer
था?
you
लोगों
on
को
facts?
भूखा मार के
The
जो है
defense budget
सिर्फ
in around
फौज तैयार करनी थी।
1990
No, this person
was
is
Lokesh, you are back to the GDP argument.
Right, today it is $77 billion.
Let Jan Bakshi finish. I have to go to Tanvi also. She has been waiting very patiently. Lokesh, on your side. Tanvi is on your side. She has to speak. Hold on. Let Janal Bakshi complete his argument. Let Janal Bakshi complete his argument. Lokesh, hold on. Yeah.
Can I please?
Party.
You see, a whole lot of arguments are twisted
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
around
Yes, sir.
to tell us that you have, please, can I? You know, a whole lot of arguments are twisted around statistics and damn lies to say that, well, we were spending more as a percentage of the defense budget than now. You know the simple fact, the GDP is much larger. So today you are spending $77 billion annually on your defense. What was it in 1990? $28 billion. Your GDP has grown. Please understand. And as a percentage of that GDP, what you are spending now amounts to much more.
Sir.
$77 billion vis-a-vis $28 billion. Okay? So get the facts right. Get the facts right. Let's not play around with statistics.
Get the facts right. I have to. I mean, most of the people have been able to come in and make their points. Tanvi was the only one who got disconnected and couldn't. Tanvi, last word to you. You know, I have said give credit to the Congress party for all that the party did while it was in power. I am saying notwithstanding all the scandals. But today, Prime Minister made a statesmanly address focusing on India's strategic outreach that happens with Indian Navy becoming a blue water navy. Why should Congress party be indulging in this kind of nitpicking on a day when entire nation is proud of achievement of its engineers, of its entrepreneurs, of its sailors, of every soldier in the armed forces, Indian Navy, Indian Air Force, Indian Army, who have contributed to this day today?
That year, then the entire media and BJP would have said that INS Vikrant has come right now only. Hello, am I audible?
Please go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah. So I was saying that the perfect quote to describe Congress party situation right now is damn if you do, damned if you don't. If they wouldn't have come out, then, you know, same people would have said,
Damned
they
if you
don't have
do,
the
damned
stamina
if you
to
don't.
fight.
Right, you have given the last
Stamina
word.
if you
I
don't.
could not have summed it better, but Tanvi.
No.
We have to,
Anila
we have
Singh,
to fight
Major
the
G.D.
Pradhan Mantri
Bakshi,
of Bharatiya
Patigrit
Janata
Pine,
Party
Lokesh Jindal, Commander Gokul Chandran and Tanvi. Hold on. Government of India is a continuity, irrespective of which party is in power, from Pandit Nehru to Narendra Modi. We have seen examples of camaraderie and great traditions of democratic transfer of power. In the last 70 years of independence, Modi himself has credited all prime ministers before him for the journey. Goes without saying, Congress also played its role while in power in furthering India's defense and security interests. Scandals notwithstanding, the grand old party needs to be little more confident of itself. Thanks for watching this Friday evening. The debate with Arnab Goswami on the other side.
चुनौतियों से नहीं डरते हम। दुनिया ने देखा है हमारा दम, दुश्मनों को करके बेदम, राष्ट्रहित में बढ़ते कदम। राष्ट्र सर्वोपरि सम्मेलन।
The Odisha government has distributed financial assistance of 869 crore rupees to 41 lakh small and marginal farmers and 85,000 landless farmers under the Krushak Assistance for Livelihood and Income Augmentation Scheme on the occasion of Nuakhai, the harvesting festival in Odisha.
उन्नति का पथ, उम्मीदों का रथ, सत्य की शपथ, हम हैं रिपब्लिक भारत। राष्ट्र सर्वोपरि सम्मेलन।
After the video of AAP MLA Baljinder Kaur assault by her husband went viral on the social media, the Punjab Women's Commission has taken suo motu in AAP woman MLA slapping case. The shameful incident was recorded in the CCTV cameras. Watch how AAP MLA's husband slap and abuse her. The July 10 clip, however, went viral after a period of 2 months. Condemning the incident, the Punjab Women's Commission chairperson said it is upsetting that a woman who raises public issues is facing harassment at home. Bureau Report, Republic TV.
The Chief Pontiff of the Sri Muruga Mutt, Shivamurthy Muruga, has been sent to 14 days of judicial custody in the sexual assault case of minor girls. He was brought to Chitradurg District Jail. The police will seek remand in open court today.
सच हमने दिखाया, सच आपने देखा, हमारी पहचान उम्मीदों की रेखा, आपके भरोसे से हमारे काम का लेखा, राष्ट्र सर्वोपरि सम्मेलन। आप पहचानते हैं, जानते हैं हमें, तभी तो अपना मानते हैं हमें। आर भारत के साथ भारत का समय, राष्ट्र सर्वोपरि सम्मेलन।
And in other national news, Prime Minister Narendra Modi commissions first indigenous aircraft carrier INS Vikrant in a ceremony at Cochin Shipyard Limited in Kochi. Ahead of the commissioning, the Prime Minister received the Guard of Honor at the shipyard as he arrived for the commissioning ceremony.
चुनौतियों से नहीं डरते हम, दुनिया ने देखा है हमारा दम, दुश्मनों को करके बेदम।
आईएनएस विक्रांत पर हो रहा ये आयोजन विश्व क्षितिज पर भारत के बुलंद होते हौसलों की हुंकार है। आजादी के आंदोलन में हमारे स्वतंत्रता सेनानियों ने जिस सक्षम, समर्थ और शक्तिशाली भारत का सपना देखा था, उसी एक सशक्त तस्वीर आज हम यहां देख रहे हैं।
Amity University in London, accredited by Quality Assurance Agency UK and licensed by the Government of UK, offers MBA and BBA degrees at its central London campus. Embark on a global career with a globally recognized UK university degree. To apply, visit amity.edu/London.
सच हमने दिखाया, सच आपने देखा, हमारी पहचान उम्मीदों की रेखा, आपके भरोसे से हमारे काम का लेखा, राष्ट्र सर्वोपरि सम्मेलन। आप पहचानते हैं, जानते हैं हमें, तभी तो अपना मानते हैं हमें। आर भारत के साथ भारत का समय, राष्ट्र सर्वोपरि सम्मेलन।
And in other national news, Prime Minister Narendra Modi commissions first indigenous aircraft carrier INS Vikrant in a ceremony at Cochin Shipyard Limited in Kochi. Ahead of the commissioning, the Prime Minister received the Guard of Honor at the shipyard as he arrived for the commissioning ceremony.
चुनौतियों से नहीं डरते हम, दुनिया ने देखा है हमारा दम, दुश्मनों को करके बेदम, राष्ट्रहित में बढ़ते कदम, राष्ट्र सर्वोपरि सम्मेलन।
The Odisha government has distributed financial assistance of 869 crore rupees to 41 lakh small and marginal farmers and 85,000 landless farmers under the Krushak Assistance for Livelihood and Income Augmentation Scheme on the occasion of Nuakhai, the harvesting festival in Odisha.
उन्नति का पथ, उम्मीदों का रथ, सत्य की शपथ, हम हैं रिपब्लिक भारत, राष्ट्र सर्वोपरि सम्मेलन।
इस ऐतिहासिक कार्यक्रम में उपस्थित केरला के राज्यपाल श्रीमान आरिफ मोहम्मद खान, केरल के मुख्यमंत्री श्रीमान पिनाराई विजयन जी, देश के रक्षा मंत्री श्रीमान राजनाथ सिंह जी, केंद्रीय मंत्रिमंडल के मेरे अन्य सहयोगीगण, चीफ ऑफ नेवल स्टाफ एडमिरल आर हरिकुमार जी, एमडी कोचिन शिपयार्ड, सभी विशिष्ट एवं गणमान्य अतिथिगण और इस कार्यक्रम में जुड़े मेरे प्यारे देशवासियों,
Amity University in London, accredited by Quality Assurance Agency UK and licensed by the Government of UK, offers MBA and BBA degrees at its central London campus. Embark on a global career with a globally recognized UK university degree. To apply, visit amity.edu/London.
आग को फैलने से रोकना मुश्किल है, पर नामुमकिन नहीं। अब फायरवॉल टेक्नोलॉजी के साथ सेंचुरी प्लाइड क्लब प्राइम आग से बचाए।
After the video of AAP MLA Baljinder Kaur assault by her husband went viral on the social media, the Punjab Women's Commission has taken suo motu in AAP woman MLA slapping case. The shameful incident was recorded in the CCTV cameras. Watch how AAP MLA's husband slap and abuse her. The July 10 clip, however, went viral after a period of 2 months. Condemning the incident, the Punjab Women's Commission chairperson said it is upsetting that a woman who raises public issues is facing harassment at home. Bureau Report, Republic TV.
The Chief Pontiff of the Sri Muruga Mutt, Shivamurthy Muruga, has been sent to 14 days of judicial custody in the sexual assault case of minor girls. He was brought to Chitradurg District Jail. The police will seek remand in open court today.
सच हमने दिखाया, सच आपने देखा, हमारी पहचान उम्मीदों की रेखा, आपके भरोसे से हमारे काम का लेखा, राष्ट्र सर्वोपरि सम्मेलन। आप पहचानते हैं, जानते हैं हमें, तभी तो अपना मानते हैं हमें। आर भारत के साथ भारत का समय, राष्ट्र सर्वोपरि सम्मेलन।
And in other national news, Prime Minister Narendra Modi commissions first indigenous aircraft carrier INS Vikrant in a ceremony at Cochin Shipyard Limited in Kochi. Ahead of the commissioning, the Prime Minister received the Guard of Honor at the shipyard as he arrived for the commissioning ceremony.
चुनौतियों से नहीं डरते हम, दुनिया ने देखा है हमारा दम, दुश्मनों को करके बेदम, राष्ट्रहित में बढ़ते कदम, राष्ट्र सर्वोपरि सम्मेलन। Shivamurthy arrested, but VIP treatment continues.
If there is any genuinity in that health problem, government must take an immediate step to regarding his health.
Is there an all-out attempt to go slow on the influential seer? Arnab debates at 9 p.m.
सच हमने दिखाया, सच आपने देखा, हमारी पहचान उम्मीदों की रेखा, आपके भरोसे से हमारे काम का लेखा, राष्ट्र सर्वोपरि सम्मेलन। आप पहचानते हैं, जानते हैं हमें, तभी तो अपना मानते हैं हमें। आर भारत के साथ भारत का समय, राष्ट्र सर्वोपरि सम्मेलन।
This started before 2014. Our Prime Minister never recognizes continuity in governance. ये कहना कि ये सिर्फ 2014 के बाद की उपलब्धि है, ये बिल्कुल गलत है।
Can matters of national pride be politicized? Why politicize India's pride? INS Vikrant. Arnab debates at 10 p.m.
उन्नति का पथ, उम्मीदों का रथ, सत्य की शपथ, हम हैं रिपब्लिक भारत, राष्ट्र सर्वोपरि सम्मेलन।
सच हमने दिखाया, सच आपने देखा, हमारी पहचान उम्मीदों की रेखा, आपके भरोसे से हमारे काम का लेखा, राष्ट्र सर्वोपरि सम्मेलन। आप पहचानते हैं, जानते हैं हमें, तभी तो अपना मानते हैं हमें। आर भारत के साथ भारत का समय, राष्ट्र सर्वोपरि सम्मेलन।
From the Mumbai studios of Republic TV, it's time for Arnab Goswami on The Debate.
Arnab Goswami on The Debate at 9. Presented by Amity University. Powered by RP Sanjeev Goenka Group. Century Ply. JK Tires. New Citroën C3 and Fair Play.
Good evening and welcome, dear viewers. The arrest of rape accused Shivamurthy late last